So the beta for the first Descendant just ended. Let's talk about it. So for the beta, I did notice a few things I wasn't particularly happy with, that if you guys want to know what my thoughts and my critiques are for the beta, then I will save those for the end so I can kind of get the good stuff out of the way first. So a quick roundup of everything if you don't actually know what the first Descendant actually is. Basically, it is a new looter shooter being made by Nexon Games that either made some of you cringe or you have no idea who Nexon is. Either way is valid. But the first Descendant is basically their newest entry into the looter shooter genre, and I'm not gonna lie, it's actually a pretty strong contender in this field. Today we're going to be talking about the good, the bad, the things that I wish were different, and some of the nice quality of life features. So mainly for the open beta, I was going in with the mentality of wanting to know what direction they're going in with, because that's the biggest question we all have, is like, what direction are they going in? Because Nexon is known for making these extremely high paywall games or things like that with a lot of monetization to them. So I wanted to make sure what kind of game the first Descendant actually is. So speaking of the monetization, I guess I should talk about what we were able to actually see from this open beta in terms of what their goals are for what they want to monetize. So far, we haven't noticed anything to pay to win. It's more pay to progress faster, like unlocking characters immediately rather than having to grind for 20 hours to unlock them. They've also got skins and extra storage you can buy as well. We don't know what the pricing structure for skins is going to be. They could be $20 for one skin, or they could be $5 for one skin, because there was no in-game like shop menu yet, so we don't know how much it's going to cost to buy like 1,000 currency of that, whatever you need. But I am happy to say there is no option to like buying weapons. We didn't see anything like that. There might have been an option to buying things you could use to upgrade your weapons, like there was these like crystallization thingies or these certain materials you could use to actually upgrade your weapons. Like you could basically do the infusion from Destiny inside of the game, and I think you might have been able to buy those materials that you can use for the infusion. But even then, I'm not entirely sure if that was just for the beta or if that's going to be in the real game. We don't really know yet. So for the monetization, we're going to wrap that up by saying it's all up to you guys on what your perspective on monetization is. If you hate all microtransactions and you hate all options to paying extra money for games like that, even in a free-to-play game, then you probably won't like this game because it does have options to buy things. But it's also worth noting that what we saw in the beta is not final, so they could add or remove certain things as well. And again, once we get that full like currency shop so we can know how much certain currencies cost, that will really put in perspective how egregious the monetization actually is. So now let's talk about the environment, the graphics, the world that you're in. This game is using, I believe, Unreal Engine 5.1, 5.2, I forget which version it's actually using, but it's using Unreal Engine 5. We did not see an option for Lumen, so I don't know if Lumen is on by default, but I was hearing people saying how it does not run very good on lower-end hardware, so that might be possible. Maybe it is forcing Lumen just like Immortals of Aveum was. But overall, the graphics of this game are phenomenal. It is probably the better-looking looter shooter that we've had since, I would say, Anthem. So we saw lots of different types of scenery, different areas and stuff like that. And for the gameplay and the gunplay with the skills and everything, I felt like there was a lot of different variety, which was good. Like the modules add a bit of variety to it, and the different kind of characters and the different kinds of weapons you could use, like the different stats that we actually have now on these legendary items, these golden items. There wasn't a ton of ultimate weapons in the game, but there was definitely a good number of them. And it seems like some of the ultimate weapons can actually be specifically made for certain characters or certain play styles, which is super cool to see, and hopefully they add more of those in the future, because that's one of the things that like make Destiny and Borderlands so fun, is the amount of exotics or legendaries you can actually find. The perks and stats that you can find on them, the extra modifiers and things you can have on them is amazingly cool to have. Same with like Outriders and basically every game like that. It's the high-end loot that makes it so crazy. If there's not a big difference between the blues versus the golds, then there's really no difference in what you're wearing or what you're using, so hopefully they can make that really distinguish and really fit some builds. But the gunplay did feel pretty good. It felt better than the closed beta, so that's good. And they fixed the grappling hook by like a lot. Is it perfect? No, but it's way better than it was in the closed beta. And that's kind of the whole point of this open beta, I felt like, is there's some stuff that wasn't perfect, but it's way better than before. All of the boss encounters look cool. Some of them were changed to look just new. Some of them were just new encounters, which was awesome to see that they're actually adding more new bosses even in the beta. So like the animations are higher quality, the gunplay's higher, the gun sounds are better, the grappling hook is better. I would even say the graphics are better as well. Like, they've actually optimized it for Unreal Engine 5.2, and they have better foliage, they have better models and textures and everything. Like, the lighting looks way better. And personally, I played on a 4090, so I may not have had all of the issues other people may have had, but it ran butter smooth at like 180 FPS the entire time. Even in the main town area, I never really had an issue with frame rate. The gunplay is actually pretty solid. I would say if they fix some of the stiffness to the animations, the movement is going to be amazing. One of the other features that I saw that I gave major kudos to on my live stream was the fact that if you are looking at materials, if you want to find out how to get certain materials, they show you a list of areas you can get them. So there's less mystery involved. It's like, hey, you want X material? Go do XYZ mission or activities to do it. And the best part is you could actually click on those missions they gave you, and it's going to take your map over to that area and mark it for you. So you automatically know where it's at. You don't have to go searching your map for it. Like, they removed some of the guesswork and some of the tedium towards the main menus and finding out where certain materials come from. So now for my overall thoughts and opinions on this game. So in terms of like what I would like the game to change, my sort of thoughts and opinions on what I thought didn't work too well, the major one is skills felt basically useless, especially when you compared the damage to a gun. From the open beta to the closed beta, like comparing those two around, the closed beta had so much fun with skills. Like, you could use Blair. I was a Sharon main, and I was hitting for like 1,000,000 on some basic enemies out in the world, but even a Void Intercept boss, I was hitting for like 200,000 on some of those higher level dudes. I was doing crazy good damage because I sacrificed like my entire health, all of my shields, all of my defense, all of my skill cooldowns. Like, I sacrificed a ton to be a glass cannon, but I felt like in the open beta, skills were very much nerfed. It seemed like there was not a lot you could do to make your skills hit nearly as hard as you could in the closed beta. They were a fraction of the power, and to me, that is, for lack of a better word, lame. You know, I do understand it's a looter shooter, and the whole point of it is to be a shooty gun boy, but at the same time, I feel like if you had the option for people to use more skills and be competent with their skills, that would be so much more fun for people like me. You know, that's one thing that even Outriders got right, is like, you could totally make a skill build and do really good damage with it. You might not have been topping the leaderboards and speedrunning along with the best people, but you could definitely do a skill build, an anomaly power build in Outriders, and it was just great. So for me, that's one of the biggest things I would change, is making skills way more powerful, because they felt like way lackluster, and it was like, why even use my skills when I could use my guns instead? And the other big thing that I would change is the ammo economy. The ammo economy for me and all of my friends and all the people on my Twitch chat whenever I was live streaming the beta, we all agreed the open beta's ammo economy was just freaking terrible. Like, purple ammo ceased to exist for me, and so I could not use my shotgun. These shotguns were almost impossible to use because there was almost no ammo for them. Like, I never found purple though. Purple ammo was insanely hard to find. But even if they tried to make the ammo economy similar to what like Destiny does, where the purple ammo is more of your heavy ammo, it's the you save it for the one big dude in the room that you want to take out really quickly. You know, you use a rocket or a heavy shotgun or a heavy sniper, whatever it is, like that's your heavy ammo in the game. Even if they wanted to make it like that, I feel like purple ammo was basically non-existent. It took me like 2 or 3 full missions to get enough ammo to utilize my shotgun enough. So really, to me, that's the only two bad things about the game, is like the skill damage is lackluster and the ammo economy needs reworking. For me, that's my personal thoughts. If you agree with that, let me know in the comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are on this beta in the comments down below as well. But overall, I would say this game is going to be a great game. It's not going to kill Destiny. At this point, Destiny is just too big to fail. The only thing that can actually kill Destiny is Destiny themselves. This game overall is feeling like a mixture of like a Division with a Warframe and a little bit of Destiny in there too. Like, it's basically a culmination of all of them. So I think that will go ahead and do it for this little bit of a discussion about the First Ascendant and its betas, and hopefully you guys are excited for the full game. I'm going to keep an eye on it, even with my trepidation towards the skill power and all the things like that in the ammo economy. I'm going to keep an eye on it, because I do love what they have for the game. I thought it was a very fun game. I thought it had a lot of potential, or has a lot of potential, and I'm going to be keeping my eye on it. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. Do you agree with what I said? Do you have any sort of thoughts of your own? Do you have any sort of critiques? Because the developers actually look at these videos. So if you have anything you would like to change about the game, or anything you didn't like about the beta, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm sure these developers are going to read them. But thank you for watching, guys. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you guys are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out. Later, nerds!